Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Great People Only, the podcast by the James. This week's guest is Dr. Shubham Jain, a PhD, a materials scientist and engineer who's reimagining how we build the world around us. He specialises in more renewable and greener ways to build, and he is an all-round amazing scholar, artist, poet, musician, and just an amazing chap. He's somebody that I now have the pleasure of calling my friend, and this conversation was very eye-opening. And I really enjoyed finding out about Dr. Shub's life and how he got to where he is. I hope you enjoy it just as much as we did. Thank you. So Dr. Shub is a materials scientist and engineer pushing for cleaner ways to build. His work spans low carbon cement, geopolymers, waste valorization, ceramics, zeolites, and even nuclear waste immobilization.
Yes.
You've worked across India, the US, Canada, and the UK, and you blend rigorous research with real world impact. Now, outside the lab, you like to play cricket.
Yeah.
Pick up guitar, write poetry. We've all seen you do that. You're a very mindful person as well. You're one of those rare scientists there where you kind of got concrete in one hand, culture in the other. Smashing together. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that you invited me here.
Yeah.
And I'm good. I'm here for fun.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you, especially with someone with your accolades. So we're going to talk about your journey into how you kind of got into what you're doing. Obviously, what you have to kind of like treat me as a layman for this conversation. That's really the journey that we were going to go on. Is you're going to educate me on what you do.
Okay.
But from a perspective of somebody who's got kind of no idea.
Yeah. So,
I'd like to come out of this.
So do you mean in terms of my education or like how I became a scientist?
Just how you became a scientist, really. So so we're going to start with basically like the first spark on your journey. Like, Is it chemistry, engineering, or solving messy, real problems? What was the first spark?
Okay, so I'll start with my undergrad, where I was working in university, learning about a lot of different ceramics. That was my specialization. But when I was doing that, I was also too much into research because I always enjoyed or questioning so many things in life, like how things works and why certain thing happens the way you do. So that's kind of research in a way.
So this started like when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. It started. So curiosity was always there.
Yeah.
Like why things are like as they behave and why they are certain ways. So that was always in my mind, and I'll always keep on questioning life in so many ways. So, but that got me into research as well, because that's one of the things that is very important, like curiosity in general about how things are working. So when I was in my undergrad, I was doing my courses, but apart from that, I was also involved in kind of research because I was seeing a lot of PhD students working on different kind of materials and trying to do a lot of experiments. And I asked them like, okay, can I help you guys, or I want to learn things from you, what you do and those kind of things. And that really got me into that. So I used to stay in summers instead of going back home. I'll do a lot of experiments with the other fellow PhD students or even professor. I will ask them, can I do research with you, and want to learn new things. So really started getting into research, and from then on, I decided, okay, I will do my PhD as well. Why not? Because I love doing a lot of research. So then I applied for many universities in US, Canada, and went to Vancouver finally at the University of British Columbia. Did my PhD on sustainable cements, which is like greener kind of cements. Which are used for nuclear waste immobilization. So basically, we are trying to trap the nuclear waste.
So when a plant's finished with its waste, encasing it in a green concrete rather than right. Okay,
exactly, because it's quite dangerous, and you want to prevent it from going out underneath it.
Yeah, of course. And so where on your research journey when was the turning point that you knew that you wanted to specialize in low carbon?
So it turned out to be like, so generally when I went to Vancouver for my PhD, I was given a couple of topics to select from, like, okay, you can work on this, and then I'm like, okay, this, like the concrete or cement industry is a big problem in terms of global CO2 emissions. And that got my interest a lot because, like, in terms of making real changes in life, you have to work on something very critical or very important, which is causing that kind of climate change or global warming.
You've got a real chance to leave a legacy there, haven't you? You know, I guess like you can make a real change and be.
I won't say like completely from my end, because I'm just like a small component or a small part of the research community, and a lot of people around the world and big companies are working on that. I'll say I will be adding a little bit to it, but overall I will say that whatever I do, I'm quite proud of, or I feel excited about doing those things. So
that's all you can ask for from a job, isn't it? Just a bit of excitement and be proud of it.
exactly.
You know, you've made it, I guess. So you've got such a big love of research. So you take independent research versus large scale institutions. Of those two, which one was like more successful for you? Which like you've obviously done a bit of both.
I've done a bit of both, because generally for our projects, we get funding from big companies, and they have real life challenges. So what they do is, instead of having their own facilities, sometimes what they do is they hire PhD students or postdocs like me, and let us do all the research, and then they apply it in real life situations and make like scale it up for big kind of plants, or putting the material out in the open. So it's like those kind of things that we have to do with the academia as well as with the industry.
You've obviously been on quite a globe-trotting learning journey. How do you think learning in India, the US, being in Canada, being all over the world, how do you think that's benefited your journey as opposed to doing it all in one place?
I think it's incredible, I will say, because every place that I lived in has different kind of culture, different kind of people, different kind of lifestyle. So those kind of things like completely opened me up in so many ways, because the culture in India is quite different than it's in US, UK, or
Great food.
great food. Yeah, of course. Like food is one of the best things.
Love a 7 rupee head massage.
So there are so many things. Like I love India in so many ways. I
Beautiful
love
country.
other places in so many ways as well, because every place has their pros and cons, and I think I selected the best things out of each place, and I think I enjoyed my life, and I
Brought them together to make you basically how you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, yeah. So I guess it's that like adage, you know, it's especially in the UK, a lot of people don't ever leave their small towns, and because of that, they kind of stay in of quite a. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes they don't expand the horizon, so they can be quite small-minded in some places, you know, stuff like that. So I guess you seeing the world has made you be like, we're all basically the same.
Yeah. That's the most important thing that I learned, that instead of how you look like or how you talk like, we have that inherent sense of being a human. And that's the most amazing part that I saw, that everyone is so amazing. You learn a lot from everyone. You get to explore so many things, like, because everyone has their own different kind of qualities. So you learned or grab some things from each person. So that's so amazing when you live in so many countries.
You can't buy that. You can't buy that kind of experience.
No. Not even with $1 million.
Which would be nice, wouldn't it? What geez. Now, as I mentioned, being a layman, I've obviously kind of heard about the kind of stuff that you do, but explain low carbon cement and geopolymers as simply as you can.
Okay. Well, that's a big challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because it's not that easy to
of
those kind of things. So if you guys don't know, cement is the most used material in the world, like the main used material after water. So first is water, second is cement.
Yeah.
So this is how much amount of cement is being produced every year. But that's not the problem. The problem is when you produce cement, you also generate a lot of CO2 in the production itself. So almost like 10% of global warming or CO2 emissions are coming from cement industry, which is a crazy amount of material, because the amount of cement that you're using and the CO2 that is produced from that, it's crazy. So cement industry in itself is a big problem in a way, because you don't want CO2 emissions.
Of
It's
course
like
not. Yeah.
we are seeing the changes in the climate change and those kind of things. Not like Trump is saying it's a hoax, but it is not.
It's undeniable at this point.
It is
Yeah.
like science
Yeah.
based, and it's scientific that it's happening. We can see the changes everywhere. So what I am working on is finding alternate cements, like not the one that we are using traditionally, because that's responsible for so much CO2 emission. So we are working on green cements, which gives you the same properties that you want, like to build a building or bridges or whatnot, like airports, roads and those kind of things. But it should have the same property, but it should not produce CO2.
So why isn't it the norm?
It's not norm yet because it was not a problem before.
Oh,
Nowadays, the utilization of that material and the people are becoming more aware of the climate change. It wasn't during World War II or World War One, because that was not a big issue at that time. There were different problems.
of course.
But nowadays, we are moving forward, and suddenly after 2018, especially, the amount of CO2 and the temperature is going like exponentially. So this is becoming a problem, big problem these days. So that's why you need those kind of new materials. Yeah. So geopolymer is one of them,
Okay.
in which what we do is we take the industrial waste or any kind of other activating materials, and then we treat them. So instead of adding water, in cement we add water, right? And,
Yeah.
and it hardens. We add some kind of activators, and when we do that, it forms the same kind of paste, and then finally solidifies like cement. But it doesn't produce any kind of CO2 because we are taking the waste from the industry, those kind of things, which doesn't lead to formation of CO2.
So is that what waste valorization is then?
Waste valorization is just using the industrial waste, basically. That is called waste valorization.
So recycling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah, because instead of using new materials, you want something that is already there, and you want to reutilize that instead of creating new materials which are causing more problems.
Can you highlight an example of waste valorization then that went from, it was like quite a massive problem that became like a building solution?
Yeah. So, for example, I can give you an example of coal power plant. So,
What's that? Sorry.
coal power plant.
Coal power plant.
Yes. So when you heat up the coal,
Yeah.
right? So to produce electricity, they also generate a lot of waste material called fly ash. If
Okay.
you have heard about it. So, and fly ash is generated in like millions and millions of tons
Yeah.
every year in every plant, and which is like crazy amount of it. And it's also hazardous. It's not something that you can dump in the open. No,
No.
because it's so much, and it's so hazardous that you
It's
can
carbon, isn't it?
exactly. Yeah, it's like a ash,
Yeah.
basically. So what do you do with it? So what we do is, the properties that it contains is quite good in terms of mixing it with cements. So you use that, and these are called supplementary cementitious materials, and you use them in the cement industry. So instead of using a lot of cement, you replace some component of cement, add these materials, so that it gives you a property which you need, but it also replaces the cement. So you're not using that much cement, which is causing a lot of CO2 emissions, and you are also using these kind of waste materials from the industry, which they don't know what to do with, and also they pay tax on them because they go in the landfill or something. So you have to make sure that you're using them somehow.
So you could replace an ingredient in cement and they wouldn't know the difference, basically.
Yes. Yeah. But these are specific types of materials. They are not. You cannot add any kind of material. They should have certain properties which are compatible with cement, rather than just putting anything in, like, oh, you have new material. No, you cannot do that. It should have some kind of property that align with the cement.
It's fascinating because you wouldn't think there was a full community of people dedicated to being like, how can we take this and turn it into cement? It's such a specific topic.
Yeah.
And sort of like getting a grasp on what you're telling me.
It is, but the thing is, it's the good part is it's everywhere. It's not just like in certain places. It's like happening globally. There are a lot of cement industries because of course, like the production of cement that is happening these days is huge. It's like 4 billion tons per year or something.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So when you're producing that much amount of cements, there needs to be solution for these kind of things.
And so what's obviously green building is a bit of a buzzword. Everyone's like green, 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 green. What's like one of the biggest misconceptions about green building?
People think like green building as having trees on the building, which is not, which is not green building. So nowadays there is a new concept called urban civilization or those kind of thing, in which one component of them, those kind of buildings, is having those kind of trees in the building, but the material also that you're using is also sustainable, like the one that I'm working on. So it's kind of mix of everything coming together to call it urban civilization in a sustainable way.
So, yeah, so you'd think when you see a lot of these living walls and think, oh, that must be quite a green building, yet they're literally like coal powered like most of the time.
Yeah.
So obviously here at the James, we have a massive focus on nurturing a high performance environment for our residents. It's a place where we champion greatness while you're on. You've got a PhD, you're doing great work. And now we just want to know, what does greatness mean to you in science and engineering?
Oh, that's a very deep question.
Yeah.
And it's very, very difficult to answer as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very subjective, first of all. It's
Yeah.
not like something everyone knows that
Mm.
greatness is defined by an individual rather than society. So everyone has a different definition of greatness.
Because you gave us quite a beautiful short answer when I asked you generically the other day that someone has the ability to teach
what they have
learned.
Yes.
So yeah, someone has the ability to teach you what they've learned, and that can be applied to kind of everything. So is that something that's measured in science and engineering?
Yeah,
as well?
definitely. Because what we are doing as a society is we are getting educated. Doesn't matter, like not from institutes. I think from life in general, right? We are learning from so many things. That's what our brain is doing all the time, like trying to understand how to go through life in different ways with proper optimization. That is what we are doing. And what happens is over time, I think everyone has a different way of learning as well, because you will learn the same thing in a different way. I will learn it in a very different way. And it's not that your way will be better than mine, or it's like everyone has a different circuit, right? So in the end, it comes to the point where we are learning from life in so many different ways. And now for me, the greatness is to share that with the people around you. Like, for example, like I'm working on cements. I go on a lot of conference and I love to share what I'm working on, love to hear what people are working on. And I think, isn't that a great thing to be like in life together and sharing?
I'm learning a lot from you right now.
Yeah. So I'm learning a lot from you as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the thing is, it's like there's the beauty of being humans, that we can communicate so easily and also share our experience together. I think like that's makes us human, and so like so differently, right? Like why we are so different than other species in the universe, because we have that capability of learning, sharing, communicating that easily. Like these words, we are talking so frequently and sharing our thoughts.
We take that for granted, don't we?
Yeah, we take it for granted, which is not which is something we should be very careful about. Like we should not take things for granted.
It's funny that you say that about like language and talking. When you perform that song in a language that you don't quite understand, I understood what the song was about.
Yeah,
even though I had no idea what you were singing.
Exactly. Even like the feelings, you know, like you can understand.
I was sat at the back of the room with jaw on the floor, like, and everyone just like, oh, it was a beautiful moment. That it was so good. But that's exactly what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. It's more about feelings as well. Like there's the part of being like communicating your things that we are learning and sharing. So I think that's and I'm lucky enough and very privileged, I will say, in terms of having that capability of learning and also sharing, even like not just science related, but anything in life that I've learned. So I always look forward to share whatever I've learned. I think that's one of the great things.
So so obviously based on the back of that, then is your industry maybe not your industry, I suppose it, you know, a lot of the times in industry success is defined by money and stuff, isn't it? So is your Like, is it numbers or is it impact? How do you measure success personally?
So for industry, it's more about money, of course.
Yeah.
It always comes to that. Personally, for me, like for academia in general as well, uh, people focus a lot on publications and those kind of things. But for me personally, I will say it's more about impact, because how you're making change in the world around you, maybe. And also we know that we are not playing a very major role, like we are doing very small things in a very small community. But the thing is, like, even if you are putting 0.00001% effort into making the world a better place, why not? Why not? Because eventually it comes to your own personal satisfaction. And if you're satisfied with what you're doing, I think that's a life worth living, I'll say. So why not? Why not? Because in the end, it's also like, I'm also very spiritual, and I know that only two things are definite: life and death.
And taxes.
Sorry?
I'm paying tax.
And tax. And tax. Of course, we cannot deny that. Not about that. Not about that. Yeah. So life and death and tax. So so these three things are definite. So what we do in between is upon us, and we select that. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but sometimes if you have a choice, I'll say select the best you think will change life in a big way for you and for others. Yeah, so that's my philosophy of life.
Great. Yeah. I would love to hear somebody somebody that embodies greatness to you, but outside of your field. So whether, somebody you like looked up maybe growing up as a kid, a musician, something like that. Someone who's had a great impact on your life. That comes into your science, basically. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. I will say it's, of course, my family.
Yeah.
It's no one else except for my family in the first place, and then all the people I've met outside my family as well, because everyone has some impact on me somehow. Yeah, and I am kind of a person who tries to learn even from the ones who are smaller than you, bigger than you, doesn't matter. I will, even like from animals, I try to learn things from people.
Everyone's got something to teach, even if it's just one thing.
Exactly. That's the beauty of life, that everyone has so many good qualities that you can catch up on so many things. And life is itself like a lesson, and you're playing along with it, and you're learning from everyone that comes in your horizon, basically. So I think yeah. So but starting from my family, they have very good, like very very important impact on me as I was growing up. My parents were very concerned about my education. In India there is a lot of competition as well, so you have to be very very careful where you are investing your energy and time.
Yeah, okay.
So for me, like, my parents invested a lot of time, and we, like, I used to grow up in a joint family initially, in which there were like more than 20-30 people in the family.
Wow.
Yeah, so initially they decided slowly to separate, just so that we can have a good education. So uh they separated out from the joint family, and then then focus on the education aspect. And the next thing is my brother. My brother has a very very big influence on me, always. Like,
Same here, man.
yeah, like, I think, like, he is kind of like my, I know, like, like the safe place to go, like,
Home.
he is my home.
Yeah.
Like, anything I want to talk about, he has seen me grow. I have learned so many things. Like, for example, the passion for music,
Yeah.
it comes from him, because I saw him play guitar, and I'm like, wow, like, this sounds so good, and I will learn it as well. So not just that, and all the advice in my life, because he has seen so many things in his life, that he has that power of uh, changing me in so many ways, because just his words of wisdom can affect me so much. Like, let's say if I talk to someone else versus I talk to him, I'll get that wisdom from him, and like, it will touch me in some ways, not from anyone else. So I think he has a very very big influence on me. right now. So I think like my life, what I'm right now, is mostly because of him, because he motivated me to go to research side and those kind of things as well. So not just that I wanted to, but he also pushed me towards that direction. So I think he has a very, very big impact on me.
I think I would give my brother a call.
Yeah,
After that.
I think we
lovely.
should appreciate.
We should, shouldn't we? I know it's a
Appreciate.
tangent, but we should definitely take time to speak to the loved ones a bit more.
Yeah.
It's we just get so wrapped up in things.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, how easy is it to, especially when you're hyper focused? Everyone's capable of hyper focusing on something, especially when you're like, right, I need to nail this, I need to get this done.
Yeah.
And you kind of just forget about the people,
Your
that-
family. Yeah.
yeah,
I think. So what I'm. I think I read somewhere or I listened it somewhere that there are three things, 3 or 4 things that you need to be doing every day in your life. For example, so one is like related to your body, to keep your body healthy. Second thing is mind. So you're reading or doing some.
Oh yeah, it's a free hobbies. One to keep you active, one to
Exactly.
keep you creative,
And
and one to make you some money, baby.
money. Yeah, exactly. Money, and also for the soul. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but to
Those.
lot of meditation as well.
Yeah, so if you have those free hobbies, then you're like, that's it. You're like, it's good.
And then another thing I will add to that, which was not talked about, is getting in touch with your family.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because if you cannot share your time or your memories with them, what's the meaning of life? In the way, like if you're not sharing it, like there's a very good movie called what's it called? Into the Wild.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've not seen it, but I know.
Yeah. So ending is
it's
that
actually-
because like the guy went out for traveling,
I know what the
exploring
story-
life.
I know what the story is.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. And in the end, it turns out that he writes a note saying that what's the meaning of everything if you cannot share it
Yeah.
with your loved ones. So I think that punchline was quite, it hit
Poignant.
me really hard.
Yeah,
Like, okay, yeah, we need to be in touch with our families as well. So
Well, obviously, it sounds like they definitely helped support you, and that's why you're such a hard worker. And I think the same can be said about being in a good community.
Yeah.
Now, the James here, we genuinely do put community first. So how do you think community supports hard work, and do you think living at the James has given you a really a good support network as well for that?
I'll agree 150%, not just 100%.
Wow.
I'll say 150% because, like, I have experience of living by myself versus living here at the James. I'll say the amount of growth that I have here is exponential rather than what I used to have when I was living individually. Because there you are just talking with yourself. You're not learning anything. You're just in a shell. But here at the James, you get to meet so many different people, and also, like, for example, if I sit in the work lawn, I'm seeing people working. I get that motivation of working as well and you talk to people, so you're learning, you're enjoying your work, and you're also uh, being productive. So a lot of things are there that I think James community has given us. For example, a lot of events. I never had those events in my life. Like, so many things I missed out in my life just by living in a different country or not socializing enough. But here, James has given us the opportunity to do that, and I'm very grateful for that, actually.
I think the board would be very happy to hear that.
No, definitely. No, they should be very happy to hear that.
I think
And I think I want to thank them personally
yeah,
for doing such an incredible job here, because it's very hard to live as an individual anywhere. And like, given the people in the James, like, for example, everyone has a similar situation to me, that we are living away from our families, we don't have anyone to talk to. What do you do then? So I think the community aspect of it, and also like the building is so beautifully designed. Like, everything adds up together, and I think this is a home I'll be very proud to be living in. Like, it's such an amazing place, actually.
Yeah, it's really, really lovely to hear, especially when, like, I know everyone works so hard to create that environment, so it's just nice to know that it's appreciated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
now going back to your practice, what are you on any projects at the moment? Anything that you're excited about? Anything you talk about? Or I know you said you're looking for work. Are you doing any research yourself still?
So basically for us, what happens is we not only do experiments, we also analyze them. We also write publications. We get publications out of them. So currently I'm in a stage where I have a lot of data. I have to analyze them. Already like analysis part is done, but now we have to put them together in kind of publication kind of thing, and it takes time. So you require to set a lot of hours on the laptop, uh, put things together, and then come up with publications, and which helps the scientific society as well, because people cite you or read your work and then they move on to do the next step. And that's the beauty of a scientific community. Like just like the James community, there is a scientific community where people, whoever is working in the cement, will be reading those kind of papers and moving on. So there is a current trend and they will follow on to do what to do next. So those kind of things are quite prominent in the scientific society. Yes.
I'm quite interested to learn about how nuclear waste immobilization basically.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So basically, if you're not familiar with the nuclear industry, so what they do is they produce electricity using, or even like a lot of other things they use nuclear material for. But in the end, what happens is when they're producing the nuclear energy or using the nuclear power, so what happens is in the process itself, they also generate a lot of waste, which has a lot of elements which are still radioactive or like quite active, hazardous. So those kind of things you cannot just dump them, right? They will kill people.
Of course, yeah.
So what they have is based on different kind of elements that are being released. They have different kind of technologies that they kind of use to trap kind of those kind of waste. So cement is one of the prominent, easy, cheap material that they use to put that waste in, and then cover them with up a drum, like a steel drum or something, and then dig a hole.
And put mounds of cement on
Yes.
top. Right.
So which is called repository. Yeah. So they have like different kind of levels. Like they could be from 200 meters till a couple of kilometers down the earth. So what they do is they put it, but so for my work, it involved working on that cement chemistry. What kind of cement or what kind of blends will be useful to chemically bound those kind of elements, because if you're physically bounding them, they can come out very easily if the material comes in contact with water, so they will leach out basically. But if you trap them chemically, then it becomes very difficult for those elements to leach out.
Is that why it's not a very green process to begin with then?
The nuclear.
No, like the actual immobilization of it.
No, immobilization is a good part because it's important.
Yeah. No,
but the process of like generating nuclear waste, which is gonna increase with time, is not a good thing, because as we are moving forward, nuclear energy is becoming more and more prominent. And if that energy is becoming more prominent, it also generates a lot of waste. And the thing is, how do you contain those waste? So that's why for us it becomes important that you need to find some green alternative material that can trap. So instead of using cement, I am using, like for example, my PhD was on using that alternate green cement, not the traditional cement, but the alternate green cement to trap those kind of nuclear waste. So it becomes like a win-win situation, because you're reducing the cement consumption. You're also trapping the waste coming from the nuclear industry. So it's like a win-win situation. What you're doing is just using the industrial waste. You're also trapping the nuclear waste, and also replacing cement with something which is like low CO2 emissions are involved there. So it's like win-win-win.
It sounds like it's win-win-win, but what's, if anything, is stopping greener materials from like scaling up in like industry use and stuff?
That's a very, very good question. Yeah. And I will say that's the industry standards.
need to change.
Yes, so it's changing, but the process is quite slow in a way that that like the cement industry, which are already prominent, won't shut shut down their plant right away, right? Like, because there is a lot of money involved there. So those things, and the other thing is regulations, because the new materials are coming, but the research works very slowly. So to adopt them in actual buildings or nuclear waste things, there needs to be a process, policies, for example, and that takes time. So to actually adopt them, it's a matter of more of politics, economics, and so many factors coming together, rather than, so those all come together, and that hinders the progress in a way. Yeah.
So what, you've got, say, new materials are coming. So what advice would you give to like landlords and developers? And like everyone, there's pressure on everyone, isn't it, to like build greener housing and stuff. But there's also a lot of pressure to build more housing at the minute.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's never gonna end.
No, of course. So what's like have you got any advice for like landlords, developers, like property developers, that kind of stuff?
Definitely start going for greener materials, and they are in market now. So it's not like the research on these green materials is already been happening from past 30-40 years now. So it's not like it's a very new product. It's a very new product in terms of research on the cement itself, because that's like 250 years from down the line. Yes, but these new materials have been researched from 30-40 years from now, but they are available in the market. So I will say that, and also in the future, I think the government themselves will be moving towards those kind of cements, and they will be promoting those rather than the conventional cement that is being used.
Yeah, you do see it, don't you? Sometimes like when the green, like they create laws around being greener.
Yeah. And also, like, there is a big convention that happened in Paris. So there is a Paris Agreement which says that by 2050, we have to go carbon neutral, basically. And cement industry is
A nice easy task then,
Oh, not at all, not at all. Trust me, it's one of the most challenging things in the It's so complex.
I can imagine.
There's so many things are coming together. It's easier said than
done. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's very tough. Yeah.
Now, but on that, you're saying it's not an easy process. If you had a magic wand, what's one thing you'd change, like in the industry tomorrow, if you could just, I'll just change that.
In the cement industry, you mean?
Just in like everything, like building and the materials and your space, basically.
I think a lot of like. So do you mean in the cement industry or any kind of material? What's your
right? Yeah. So I've got a question. So if you had a magic wand for like building,
building kind of material,
building material,
I think like faster adaptability, and also like nowadays there is a new concept called carbon storage. If you have heard about that, so it's called like CCS technology, in which you're capturing the carbon that is also coming from the industries and utilizing it somewhere else, like those kind of carbons for other application. So, but that requires a lot of money and a lot of investment. The thing is, it's all about the big players. So if the big players in the cement industries are doing something which is very innovative and going towards more sustainable cements, which they are, because they have a lot of R&D units as well, but they are the major players, and whatever they do, the other cement industries and the small businesses follow. So I think it should come from there. And also, other thing, very important thing, is the government should take that initiative, because if they implement those kind of rules and they push towards it, then I think coming together as a whole, you can make a big difference in how we are using these kind of materials in the future.
It is very. There's a lot to take in with such a specific topic. I never even cast my mind over cement before.
Yeah, no, I know. It's also for us, like for me, what I understood is So for us, we have been working on these materials from past 10 years. So everything for me is so embedded, like the slang, like the slang.
Yeah, slang, yeah.
So for me, it's like I don't even realize.
In nature.
Yeah. I don't even realize that how difficult it must be for you
To say some
to
words.
like whatever terms I'm using. It's so common for me, but for laymen, people who are not working in that industry,
Yes.
it's like what the hell are you talking about? What is this thing? Yeah, so I understand, because like a lot of like that's the problem with a lot of our PhD students as well, because they have been involved in their project from so long that they forget that you are talking to people
Yeah.
who
Happens
never.
with me in photography. I honestly just go, oh, did you just change this setting, that, give it here, what do you, and I can just do it while I'm talking like this, just, and they're like, I've been trying to change that setting for 15 years. You know what I mean? So I guess it just becomes a case of your unconscious competency.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very
Yeah.
simple.
But like, let me give you a question here. Do you know the difference between? So what's the difference between cement and concrete? You hear a lot of cement and concrete, but what's the difference? Like, I think I should educate that at least from this podcast to everyone.
So yeah, is it like all concrete is cement, but not all cement concrete? The other way around? no idea. Just thought I'd have a...
Yeah. So see,
exactly.
That's why you
Yeah,
have
go
to
on.
know.
Explain it then.
So concrete is a product. Let's say it's
Yeah.
a material, but concrete consists of so many things. It's like cement. One component is cement.
Yeah.
Another one is water.
Yeah.
Third one is aggregate. Aggregates are like
Yeah,
big rocks.
Big rocks.
And sand. Four is sand. So when they come together and you mix them, and then they set, they form a concrete. But the sand and aggregates doesn't react. So only thing that reacts is the cement. So cement reacts with water to form that glue. So cement is the glue that binds these kind of
the
particles together.
Sand, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So now I think you know the difference between.
Yeah, I know them. Yeah.
So concrete. So cement is the glue.
Yeah.
That binds the.
Concrete's the finished product, baby.
Yes. So at least from this podcast, people will know the difference between cement and concrete. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot in terms of like what you're doing. You put it very, very, very eloquently. I really do understand it, and I'd just like to. Obviously, we're getting a bit closer time now, so I've got a little quick fire round now, just to kind of get to know you. And so, what are you working on in yourself? It doesn't have to be science related, because I know you like to play guitar, you like to play cricket. What have you got going on outside of work?
I'll say right now, job applications.
Yeah.
But not just that, but personally, I think like self-development is a very important part of everyday activity. So going to the gym, of course, like taking care of my health. Sometimes reading helps a lot. And sometimes I just pick up my guitar for no reason, even if I'm not in the mood. So I'll just pick it up, play whatever I feel like, put it back. So I think a lot of different components add up together to give a good life, I will say.
Mhm.
So I think I make sure that even if I'm not doing it very often, I do it like from time to time. So that keeps me going. And also, you cannot just focus on one thing at a time. You have to do like you have a long day, so you have to pick up a couple of things here and there, and then make it like a wholesome day, basically. Yeah.
And what's one habit that our residents could adopt from listening to this episode, do you think? What's one thing you'd look like from what that's like a bit of a problem in like living and stuff? What's one habit you'd like to see residents take?
One thing I will say is like few of the residents, I will say, haven't I've seen them in the building, but I haven't seen them socializing. So I think that thing is something they can do. It's not like a necessity.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think it becomes like a important point of living in a community building in a way that they learn a lot, and also like it opens you up in so many ways. So it's not like I'm forcing them to go and do socializing, because everyone is different, everyone has different kind of personality. But I think personally, I feel myself as an introvert, even though I don't look like it. But it opened me up, like talking to people, even just saying hi, and then you're like, okay, who is this new person? But when you meet them again for the next time, oh, I've seen you before. And then you become so comfortable with people, and then again the learning process starts. So I think that's one thing I would say, whoever is not involved can come out and just say hi. Yeah.
And just, I'd love to hear your one line sign off on low carbon cement. One thing that you'd like people to know, basically. Just one side, just one thing you'd like people to know about your industry and what you're doing.
I'll say go green.
Go green.
Go green.
Go
Yeah.
green, everybody.
Go green. Yeah.